Sorry about that. This is Matt Haas. I'm here on Awesome Wood Things. So glad you are here. So glad I am live on the Awesome Wood Things channel. And I have some fun things to show you. I recently upgraded my laser engraver. I went from a small portable laser engraver to a much larger one. I'll show you the one I got. It is the Xtool S1 10 watt. While this is a smaller, well, I shouldn't say smaller. It's actually quite large. It has lower power than most of them, but it can still do a heck of a lot of things, and I am taking advantage of all of the features. And I'm about to show you 5, actually there's 6. You tuned in, you get a 6th bonus one. A 6th project that I made, and I'm not only going to showcase the projects, I'm going to talk about the design process, because design is important. What are you making? Are you making good visual decisions with your art? That is very important, and that's what this show is about, the design process. There's a lot of stuff out there where it teaches you how to use a piece of software, or it teaches you how to use a tool. Those are all great, but that can only get you so far. This is about the design behind it. This is a live show. If you're watching live, type something in the comments, and I'll be able to put it up on screen. I'm pushing this out to my personal Facebook profile on, and then also on YouTube. Jaden's here. Hi, Jaden. Pierre Kelly, good afternoon. He says, good afternoon to you. Leonard Davis is back in the house. Hi, Leonard Davis. Good to see you here. Rich Vibes coming at us from the UK. Sammy Superstar. It's great to see you on the channel. I know I hardly ever stream on this Awesome Wood Things channel. The Dad Cave is here. Hey, Matt. Hey, everyone. All my maker friends are showing up. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be so much fun. I do have many other channels on the YouTube. I'm here on Awesome Wood Things, and I said I'm also streaming to my Facebook profile, but I have Awesome Fun Things. I go on this channel Monday through Friday, 8:15 a.m. Eastern in the morning. Just talk about the fun, creative stuff I did the day before. It's like a vlog. Obviously, I play the piano over there. So go check me out on all of these places. I am all over the interwebs. As a matter of fact, here's my streaming schedule. There is a Notion link. There's a link in the description, and it tells you all of my where I'm going to be. Oscar for best sound goes to. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the new laser. This is my first project. I wanted something simple. This is a big old block of wood. I had this wood in the shop. I was testing a glue up process. It was perfectly fine, but I didn't know what to do with it. So I cut 2 simple cuts. You can see I have a brown outline and then the yellow, and it's popping off of the thing. And the whole point behind this was it's one layer, simple painting, and I wanted to learn how to use my tool, and I wanted to learn on thin pieces of wood. Hugh DeMann is here. That's Mr. Whit Profit behind that channel. Hey, Woody Map fans. So, and who doesn't love Reese's peanut butter cups? They're delicious. Chocolate and peanut butter all day long. So that was the first thing. Then I wanted to go onto a thicker piece of wood, and I made this. This is a mandala, I think. And although this is somewhat simple, the real purpose of this is to showcase the item you put on it, like this mineral here. It's like polished orb. So sometimes things on laser engravers can be kind of plain looking, even though this isn't plain looking. This is rather intricate, but you know, it can just make the item that you put on it kind of give it that showcase type feel. And then I learned how to cut thicker wood with that one because, you know, I needed to change the laser settings. This is, and I'm building on top of all these skills. And you're not going to believe what I'm ultimately going to make with this. That's really cool. Reus is my all-time favorite. Yay! Oh, hey, some other fun things. I should have the super chats going. So if you give me a super chat, these lights should come on automatically. Well, 2 of them, if I've configured it correctly. So that would be fun. Something you could do optionally. You know, you don't feel like you have to. Then I wanted to kind of up my game from here, kind of build on these skills and do something a little more complex. And you see a lot of Nintendo stuff around here. I have Bowser, there's Mario and Luigi, a bigger Mario. There's Yoshi in the background. I mean, I'm nostalgic for that type of stuff. So I made Dry Bones. This is a Koopa, one of the turtles, and they're like a resurrected skeleton. And when you bonk on their head, they kind of disassemble, and they'll wait there for a moment and then reassemble and reanimate like a zombie coming back to life again and again and again. And so this is something that I made. This is two layers again, but it's more complex. So you see how I was building on the skills, you know, 2 layers, simple, kind of, you know, larger objects. This has a lot of little tiny, look at that little tiny sliver right there. And the color, you know, I also wanted to paint this. This color doesn't come out of the tube. Like I had to kind of mix black and yellow, and I had to make a lighter blue and gray. Gray doesn't come out. There's 2 types of gray shell. Gray. Anyway, so this was a proof of concept for the next more complex thing that I was going for. Now I don't have memberships on Awesome Wood things, Jaden. Thanks for talking about that. And I also like the matte finish. Like they make paint that's gloss. I don't think that works. I like just a super flat. It looks so awesome. Then, oh, hey, I think I got some super chats. Look at this. Oscar for the best lights goes to... I love it. Thank you, Mr. Rich Vibes. $1.99. Oh, and I'm glad the technology's working as well. Got the super chats on. Oddly enough, I can't turn them off without the app, so I will have to punch something up here on my phone and kick them off. If I can learn how to do it. There we go. Oh, and also, the blue doesn't kick on, but it does work. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. What type of laser are you running, Matt? Thanks, the Dad Cave. It is a Xtool S1, so it's a diode laser, and it's the 10-watt. Brand new one. I think the whole point was they wanted a sub-$1,000 product, and that kind of got people into the market. But I'm already thinking about upgrading it. I shouldn't have bought one that low of power. You know, had to test. I appreciate it, good sir. Okay. Then I wanted to up my game, and I wanted to do finger joints, okay? And this is a cell phone holder, all right? Cell phone holder. Now, the whole point about this is it has engraving. So I have line artwork, and on the back, there's Yoshi. So Yoshi's on the back. And I have a Koopa without a shell chasing after Mario that has stolen the Koopa's shell. He's supposed to have a shell on the back there, but he doesn't. Now, I used a website called boxes.py. It's not .com, it's .py. It stands for Python because that's the programming language. And I made some major modifications. The default had this space right here, super skinny, and that's where you're supposed to put the charging cable. And I didn't want to, you know, I have big fingers, so I widened that. And it also had these two little jut outs here, like two little jut outs. So when you put your phone down, it couldn't fall. I didn't like that. I wanted it to be completely flat. And then I built it, and I realized without those little shelf things, those protrusions, it was kind of rocky. So then I added these two on there. So, you know, a little bit of failure, but I wanted to try the finger joints. These were way too tight. I had to really get in there with a wood clamp to kind of pull the pieces together. Way too tight. So that's what I got going on there. I dig it. All of this is building on, and I also wanted to cut. This is the thicker wood too. This isn't the. This is 5mm, and the other one's 2. Then, when I bought these paints to paint this, they were loose in the shipping box. Like they didn't even come with a box with the marketing on the side, with what the product was. It was just in the shipping box. So I'm like, all right, I got to build me my own paint station. And I made this. So now I started with boxes.py, which gives you a shelf. All right. Basically it's this item. So it gives you the shelf and then the closing box with, you know, the box open on one side. And what I had to do, I didn't just want, I just didn't want a place to hold like the paint bottles, because I knew I had paintbrushes. So I had to like extend it out this way, extend it up this way. I have 2 layers here because you can see, you know, these go down into that layer. So that's the floor. And then I wanted a big cavity in the back to hold little clamps and other paints and things like that. So, and then once again, I put just the straight one color engraving on the side too. Now with that project, I dialed in the finger joints so they weren't so crazy tight, which is good. And you can download that. You can download the artwork. I made the artwork available to download for free. You're not buying the product, you're buying the digital files, so you could cut that on your own machine. Thank you, Leonard Davis. Appreciate that. I do have a link to my store. It goes to another product, which I'm going to talk about now. Well, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, but you will land on the store if you wanted to buy those. And I say buy, there's zero cost. $0, and you can have it. I just give it away. I do collect email addresses though, so you have to put it in your cart and check out, and they'll make you give an email address. So there's that. But as far as cash money, it's for free. But you can give more if you wanted to donate to me, which is fine too, but not anywhere near required. Now, those were the 5 that I promised you, but I've got a 6th item here. Let me show you. Now, again, you know, this is where it started, and then this became a little more complex, and then you know the next thing has to be like on an awesome level even higher. Well, I think, you let me know, but I think I've achieved that. And I have, oh, look at this. David W. Ryan. Thank you, brother. Paint station looks great. Da-da-da. Check him out. Well, this is really washed out on this camera. Let me go over here. So this is Mario. This is 4 layers deep. So you can see the little star and mushroom background that they're popping off. but then he is all the way at the highest level, and I have it completely flush. So there are different pieces of wood. Look at the tiny, tiny pieces of wood. Little teeny, teeny, weeny little. But this laser, it can hold that resolution. It's crazy. And getting the pink was kind of tough for the face, because I had to do, this is the best color over here. I had to do the light blue on the eyes. I had to do that custom color. I had to make the pink skin a custom color. And then the mushrooms and stars are a little warmer yellow, kind of like a very light orange. But I didn't, and then look, this has a new technique that doesn't exist on any of this. See how I've built my skills? And this is larger too, because, you start off small and then you do something more complex. If you look close, you can probably see it. Maybe you can even see it better over here. Yeah. There is gray engraving on here. Now, I've done the line work engraving, but that is actually like a half-tone dot pattern, 40% gray. And then I just used watered-down paint to go over top of it. So now I have not just black line work engraved. Now I have shades of black engraved and then laser cut and put on there. So this downloadable file is available on my store. So you can go get that if you want. And also, I did this on my portable laser a while ago, this little artwork here. And the thing about this, which I wanted to highlight, is notice how the dragon is floating in space here. So you could get like underneath the dragon like that. See how my finger's disappearing underneath him? Okay, that was what I wanted on this artwork. But this one is different. Because this one, notice, let's see if I can get you going good here. Yeah, there we go. Look at this. So notice that the character Mario goes all the way to the base. And then there's one layer up, which is the star. And then there's a spacer layer between that. And then there's the Mario layer. So he's not floating up above it. He's actually kind of on like a Mario pillar, which I thought that was good. Now, there were many, many failures. And some of it's human error, because I started that as a smaller object, and then I wanted to scale it up. So I burned the eye at the wrong size, human error, because I needed an extra eye. I thought the laser was doing the interior shapes first and then moving outward, which makes the most sense because the laser does have a blower on it, and sometimes the small pieces will wiggle around. And if the laser beam's still firing and it's wiggling, it doesn't sit still. So there's some physics type things you've got to take into consideration when you're using the tool. But it turns out it wasn't. It was behaving with the layers of my file. So now I know if I'm going to make this file, I need to put the eyes and this little thing on the ear and these little things on here. Like those have to be the topmost objects. And then as you add the objects on, like the outermost, largest object should be last. So learning. It's all a learning process. I before E, except for when using lasers. Now, all of this is to say, I will appear in an art auction in April. So in a few weeks, I'm going to be in an art auction, and I'm going to use all the skills I've learned to make something I think is going to be my masterpiece. It is going to be cut out shapes like this, but very realistic, no paint, no stain, and it's going to be a portrait of an evil monkey with wings and a fez, similar to the Wizard of Oz. I know that camera's not super good. So it'll be an evil monkey that will look something like this. Might not be super impressive because it's just simple line work. But the point is, these will be individual shapes. So the eye will be Paduke red wood. So it's going to have red eyes. The face is going to be probably ash. And then the background will be walnut. The point is, the species of wood is going to color the item. No paint, no stain, and each object is going to be a different cutout of wood. So each tooth will be an individual shape of wood. I have really thin veneer of all different species of wood, and it needs to have shading as well. What's the shading, you ask? Well, I did the shading technique here. So I'm going to use that shading technique to shade it, because like inside the ear here, go this way, like inside that, inside that fold. So see how that, you have like this is the part that's closer to you, and then this part is underneath. So it would be really dark in that crevice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put shading on that piece and make it look even more three-dimensional. It is going to be awesome and partially terrifying, and it's going to be in this auction, and now it's taking me weeks to render that artwork on the computer. I use Adobe Illustrator. It's a line art program. And so I have a lot more rendering to do. And this is the thing, this took me, I think, 5 days to prepare on the computer. And that's not the only one I'm going to do. I'm also, I'm also going to do, I thought I had an image up here of this. Well, do I have it? Is that it? No, that's not it. Okay. 1 second. Let me push some buttons here. Hold on, folks. Bear with me. Yeah, here we go. This is my other streaming channel, Awesome Fun Things. But so I did the line art for all of these, and this is kind of going to give you the idea of how you can put it all together. So this took about 4 days to do the line art for all of this. And again, the point is to make each character way up in the foreground, and then have the background objects a couple layers down and washed out. I don't want anything overpowering. Like I wanted Mario to take center stage. So I wanted him bright and way out forward, and then things kind of muted and in the background, but still interesting, because this is all about the design process. It's one thing just to make these. If you made these and stuck them on the wall, that would be cool. But I wanted more than just, like, I wanted to surround them with other interesting objects from that world. So, you can even go on, just download the line art of these characters and just print away. But I wanted more of that Mario voice. Wahoo! Klondike is here. Hi, that's my friend Sean. Yeah. So I'm gonna do all of this art in this technique, multiple layered artwork here. And I actually have 3 more in the works as well. I always, whoops, sorry about that. I always, I like the Spiny Shell in Mario Kart, because if you're one of the cars that are kind of in last place and you get a puzzle box and it gives you an object, it's usually the Spiny Shell, and the Spiny Shell blows up the lead car. So whoever's in first gets blown up. And it's kind of a cool object. And I wanted to do a whole piece of artwork on the Spiny Shell. And a lot of people put a Bible verse on that, because the book of Matthew, he says, so the last shall be first and the first last. Because that's kind of what the Spiny Shell does. It blows up the one in first and gives, the rear cars, advantage to take over. So I thought that was fun. And I also did other things on the laser. I made, a keychain like this. This was on my portable laser. But, I'm building up the skills to have this piece of marquetry. Small shapes of wood, and the natural wood coloring will be the coloring of the object. So it's going to be dark woods, light woods, red for the tongue and the eyes, and it's and I'm gonna put those shadows on it, because the laser's gonna burn a gradation, shadowy type thing. I'm a little scared. It's pushing all of my skills. And once I have it, now it will take quite a lot to manufacture this. It's kind of like an art piece in and of itself, but I will have the file. I will be able to make multiples of them, given enough time to actually construct it. And that was one of the things about this art auction, because they have there's a different way to treat art that's prints. So like if you do an oil painting and then send it to a printer, you can hit a button and the printer just prints them all off. Well, is that this? Is a piece of fine art marquetry, which takes a lot of skill to cobble everything together. It's an intense manufacture. So it's not like printing. So they were like, oh, then you have to just do a buy it now price. You can't auction it, because you could just create another one with your machine. And that's the thing. It's like, yes, I have a machine, but cutting out the shapes is a small part of the whole process. It's still a massive endeavor to assemble the whole thing. It's not just print at a print shop. So not quite sure how the actual art piece is going to be treated within this auction. I think it has to be a buy it now price, because there's a computer is somehow part of the process, like a printer, there's some sort of machine in the works. It's not just all hand inked on a canvas. I don't completely understand the art world, but in any event, I'm going to have it out there, and I will be sure and tell everyone the details of that auction. I don't quite have it yet. And it's run on a Facebook group. So you join a Facebook group, and then you can put a comment on the post, and then your comment will be your bid, the type of thing. And it's a what do you call it? A silent auction. So the last highest one wins. But again, mine might be buy it now, because that might be the rules of the auction. I'm not quite sure. So I'm really looking forward to getting this done. So my efforts now are just going to be continuing to make this art and doing test burns, because I'll have a different material. I'm not doing plywood anymore. Everything you've seen is made out of plywood. This is going to be made out of veneer, wood veneer, solid wood veneer, which is even thinner, and we'll need different settings, different things like that. So super excited about that. There's not many physical objects that I purchase that increase the quality of my life. This laser is one of those things. This was such a good decision. I have been using line art applications in desktop publishing my entire adult life, since I was 19 years old, 35 years ago. And it works perfect for this tool. This tool needs line art to work. My workflow is probably a little bit unique compared to most, not everyone, but most, because I do all of the work in the line art program. And when I move that over to the laser software, it's just how powerful is the laser? How fast is it going? How many passes does it have to take to punch out the object? Like, that's kind of all I'm using the software for. These software packages that run the lasers, they're also full design software as well. Like, you could build your art in the software packages. I was using Lightburn, now I'm using XCS because that helps. That works a little better with my hardware. Doesn't matter. The concept's the same. I do all the work in the line art program, and I basically just use the software as a manufacturing tool. I got the Xtool S1 10 watt. That's what I got, Sean. So it's the, looks like this. And I wanted to get the 20 watt or the 40 watt, but I did read somewhere that the 10 watt laser has a smaller kerf, which is good. And I can buy the IR module, which could do metal. Basically, this unit, it's for wood and a few other materials. They have different kinds of lasers. They have CO2 lasers, which can cut basically anything. And then I have a $600 laser head I can get for this that will make it work on metal. It's a very low power laser, but it's a different kind of laser, and it will engrave metal. So if I wanted to like personalize a knife blade or a kitchen utensil or metal keychains or something like that, I could buy that $600 module and plug it in, and then I could do that. But, if you wanted to do color plastic, you need a different type of laser. Unless you do black, the laser I have will cut black plastic, but the brighter the color, the less effective it will be. So, yeah. And, it was under $1,000, but I bought some extras with it. I got the honeycomb bed and the air assist module for it. So, all in with, I guess it was $1,200, $1,300, something like that. But I'm not made of money, and I wanted to get my foot in the door, and I was using an 8-inch by 8-inch portable laser with no enclosure. So I had to set it up outside. So I had to make 4 trips to move everything out there. I had a fan and my computer and then the laser module, and I had a battery backup and it was just then I had to be out there in the elements. Now I do have a covered porch, but however hot or cold it was how hot or cold I was when I was using it. And then I had to bring it all in. And if you go to assemble something, I wanted to fix something, then you have to put it all back out, use it. So this sits in my house. It sits in my house, and I vent it out the window. I had a board. I put a 3-inch hole in the board, stick the hose in that, close the window. No air, no outside temperature can get in, the heated or cooled house. And it's quiet. I have CNC router machines. I have woodworking machines, table saws, lathes. Very, very loud, very dusty. This thing is quiet. It's clean. And it's on the first floor of my home. And it's best with line art. I'm a line art expert. It is the perfect fit for my skill level and my passions. I'm really glad that I have it. Yep. Rich Vibes says, you need some sharks so you can fit the lasers to their head. I love it. $1 million. Love it. Love it. All right, folks, what do you think about that? How about giving me a thumbs up? I would appreciate that. Rich Vibes, thank you for the super chat. I'm happy you tested out my if this then that automatic turn on lights. I don't know when I will be back streaming on awesome wood things, but I'm kind of hoping the design process and learning more about what went into making it and the design choices, I hope that resonated with you. I might bring some other makers on here and kind of showcase their art if they're interested in doing that. Let me know if you want to see other designers and makers and creative people on this show, and we can do a design process for some of their stuff as well. The art is crazy cool. Thank you. Thank you. I try and make things that are awesome. I mean, literally, it's in the name. It's in the name. Awesome wood thing. I try. All right. I love you all. I stream Monday through Friday on Awesome Fun Things. This is on YouTube. Now, I know I'm coming on the interwebs on my personal Facebook profile. That's not this. But if you want to check me out on YouTube Monday through Friday, I do a show over there. So please take advantage of that. All right. I'm jumping off. Have a great rest of your Monday. I love you all. And I'm going to start working on my monkey. And wait till you see it. It'll probably be a couple weeks. If it is half as good as I expect it's going to be, it's going to blow you away. All right. Got to go. Love you all. Bye.